the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And welcome everybody to the All-Star Race for the second season of the Karts to Computers Racing Series. As you guys can see, we're already in a bit of a untraditional view for tonight's broadcast, and that is because, well, in a way, it is a bit of an untraditional broadcast, or at least for those of you that maybe haven't been around in the series since last season. But those of you who might recognize this format and how we do the All-Star Race is that, well, tonight we're actually not going to be doing a traditional broadcast format. Tonight is a little bit different than usual. Tonight we're doing the kind of live stream format that we did last season for Season 2, or Season 1. That is when we went to Charlotte in the Xfinity Series, and you will be driving along with me tonight. Though I may be the series kind of coordinator and broadcaster most of the time, I do also race on iRacing and in other disciplines, mainly just karting. But yeah, I am also a driver as well. So it's kind of a pleasure to do something a little different because it is an unofficial race. It's kind of fun to switch it up once in a while and actually be able to run in the series myself and be able to run with the guys that I get to watch and call on a weekly basis. But well, this time I'm going to get to kind of a I would say kind of a backseat role, but then there's always the possibility that I would be able to come away with the win tonight, which is always the goal. So, well, best of luck to everybody in the field, and best of luck to myself. But yeah, we won't be doing kind of the traditional intro tonight, seeing as it's not an official race. We're going to Pocono on Friday in the NASCAR Cup Series, so that'll be back to a little bit more of a traditional broadcast there, and then you guys will get to see all the usual pre-race stuff there. But so no race recap tonight. We're just going to go straight into the All-Star Race tonight. As you can see here, this is the view of my car for tonight. In the background, I'll try to give you a better shot. But in case you guys are wondering what livery I'm running, I still didn't get a great view of it there. But I am running the... Oh, sorry about that. I'm running the replica to Connor Daly's Gallagher car that he runs in the IndyCar series. For those of you wondering, Connor Daly is a personal favorite driver of mine. He runs in the IndyCar series, and he's had kind of a complicated past in racing. And if you followed IndyCar at all, you'd know why he's such a likable guy and such a friendly face, and he actually got his first career pole the other day in IndyCar, so I felt only fitting to choose his livery, and it's something a little different. It's something pretty snazzy. I try to get the pit crew matched as close as I can, but unfortunately didn't come too close, so hopefully everybody can bear with me with that one. But yeah, tonight, hopefully you guys stick around and enjoy it. It's going to be 100 laps here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we did the Indy 250 to start off last season, and tonight we're doing something of the same sort. We're doing the, obviously, as you can see, Indy 250, but for the All-Star Race. And I know I mentioned the All-Star Race a couple of times in the last few actual broadcasts, but for those of you wondering, the All-Star Race prize for this season is the ability to choose the car and track for the final race of the season here, round 15, which would also be the final round of the playoffs, which determine our season champion here in the Karts to Computers Series Season 2. So there's big stakes to be able to pick the track, and it's a lot of power, especially if, there's a particular track and car you feel most apt at that you'd be able to choose in tonight's race. Of course, as an unofficial driver in the series myself, if I were to win the race, well, I would not have that same privilege, and the award would go to the person who finishes second. Because obviously, like I picked 14 races on the schedule, I don't see the need to pick the final one. So overall, that's kind of the stakes, and I'll do my very best to be as competitive as I can and make it as fun of a broadcast as possible. But the last thing I want is to mess up somebody else's race going for that same first place prize. So I'll try to be as clean but as exciting and hopefully maybe go for a win as possible, because I have to run quite a few races at Indy and iRacing in my day, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up and have a pretty good finish. As you can see, the session is just resetting. I know, as you guys are probably used to in our broadcasts, we always go to qualifying pretty soon in, but considering I actually have to compete in it today, we may need to head into it a little earlier. But there are 4 laps of qualifying today, as is traditional for Indy broadcasts or Indy races in general. Indy is known for its 4 laps of qualifying, each based on time, and then your average top speed per lap, average speed in general per lap is how they determine qualifying. Unfortunately, we can't do that on iRacing, so it's just fastest lap of 4. But Yeah, let's dive right into qualifying. I'll kind of give you guys a lap around the track, and you guys are going to see my behind the scenes here and everything, and we'll get all the real graphics and stuff up once the race starts. But we're just going to head into qualifying right now. I will say in advance, last year when we did the All-Star race the first time, I think one of the main problems was that I was kind of talking a little bit too much when I should have been focusing, and as a result, I think my ability in the race kind of faltered as a result. So. Today I'll try to find a bit of a better balance and maybe be a little bit more competitive in the race. Actually, I will maybe throw the timing tower up there just so you can see live qualifying times as they roll in. Just a heads up, so the timing tower won't be up yet because no times have been posted, but just a heads up to everybody that once it is, there will be two Marshall Crockers on the leaderboard today, as you know, both myself and my father are going to be running in the race. But you'll notice that on the timing tower, that is sorry, that's just my spotter voice talking there, which you'll see a couple times throughout the race. I don't have a personal spotter; I just use the iRacing default, so he may pop up a couple of times. If the sound is too loud or anything, just let me know. Oh, we have already dove off the track. Trying to concentrate on the sound levels and racing is going to be a fun balance. But yeah, so let's get qualifying started here. I'm not hoping for crazy big things. I know in the past I've been pretty successful at qualifying as compared to the actual race, but well, this time I'm just hoping for a decent enough qualifying spot that, well, maybe it puts me in the top 3 or 4 rows. I know I've put in some pretty good practice here, but well, really, it'd be nice to let some of the official guys fighting for the prize take the top spots and maybe work my way through the field throughout the course of the race. But as you can see, Indianapolis is quite a large track for sure. It's a 2.5 mile oval, so the size of Daytona, and I think just barely smaller than Talladega, which I believe is 2.66 miles, so a little bit smaller. I'm just going to adjust my in-car settings here a little bit. For those of you that are familiar with iRacing and how it works, or really any IndyCar in general, you're able to make in-car adjustments throughout the race, which I'm no doubt going to need to for this scenario. So the IndyCar, you're allowed to make changes to your anti-roll bar, as well as your weight jacker, which both kind of indirectly affect, or sorry, well, I guess directly affect, but they make small changes to your in-car handling, mainly referring to your oversteer and understeer. So you can adjust your back end and front end specifically and how much grip you have, which will be helpful further on in the race when tire wear comes in to be a thing, and you know, your tires start to degrade over the course of the race. So yeah, just a nice way to be able to adjust that throughout the race, and it's something that I'll have to focus on kind of in the background, but seeing as I'm pretty new to in-car adjustments personally, it'll be something I probably toy with sparingly, but if I do, it'll probably require my attention a little bit, because as you can see in the bottom right of my screen, what you're seeing on your screen is exactly what I'm seeing on mine, but the bottom right of the screen is where I don't know what time we're running in 7th currently, not like an exceptional time, but certainly not terrible. I'm trying to run very wide here just to keep it real conservative and run a decent lap time here. And we have now run the car to fuel, so there we go. So always the best thing to do. We're just going to park it here. 40.5 isn't honestly too bad. I know I wasn't attacking the apexes as much as I probably could have, so a couple of other guys are probably going to be a little bit further up in the on the timing sheet than I am. You can see there your current leaderboard there. So I'm currently qualified in 8th. Only a couple of guys behind me, but then again, they may have more laps to run. I'm going to go back out in a second, but we do have 10 minutes, so I have a little bit of time to talk. I just check in and see if... there we go, so 6 viewers. So good to see people are starting to roll in a little bit. So again, for those of you that may have tuned in a little bit late... Oh, my voice is dying here, but... for those of you that may have tuned in a little bit late, tonight is a little bit of an untraditional broadcast of sorts. Of course, not the traditional actual commentated broadcast and everything you're used to, but no, tonight is instead going to be more of a in-car thing, where you're going to get perspective from my screen and see what it's like to be a driver in the cockpit of a race car. And currently parked right now, just waiting to go for second qualifying. But again, hopefully I'm pretty competitive and it'll be an exciting race overall. Still possibly waiting on Devin Crosby to round out our field. We have 13 guys tonight, which compared to maybe the start of the series last year isn't a ton. But we've had some smaller attendance the last couple of races just because people are busy with real life karting and maybe other commitments. So. Yeah, not like a crazy, oh goodness, not like a crazy big turnout, but honestly, like 13 guys is enough for an entertaining race, especially if we can all keep it pretty clean early and we don't have too many guys crashing out, which I mean, it's always the goal, so hopefully everybody's able to keep a pretty clean race going tonight. But if I'm honest, I would expect a couple of cautions. So, my goodness, the car is a little bit loose today. I think I'm about to get a penalty for that for pit road exit. Whether I do or not, we're going to park it. A little bit of an informal start here. There we go. So, yeah, you get a black flag on iRacing for exiting the pits in the untraditional way, so not following the proper route, and falling through the grass in the exit of pit road is indeed not the proper route. So, the best way always though is to try to get as good of a run out of pit lane as you can. Just generally because you get the most speed onto the backstretch here, and you get all your speed built up before your lap, which is why traditionally you're going to run your fastest laps in qualifying here at Indy later in the stint. But with only one lap to go, actually, hopefully I'm able to make this a good one. For those of you wondering, I'll talk about kind of the gears in a little bit, but I've actually been generally unsure as to what gear is best to run in throughout the course of the race. So there's 5th and 6th gear, which you can kind of equally make good times with. 6, as you can see, you kind of get on the limiter. I wheel there the green, yellow, and red lights. Once it turns blue, it kind of means you're on your limiter and you're as high as you can go in the gear. Many cars only have 6 gears, so being on the limiter in 6 just kind of means like you can't really go much faster than that. Never best to gear up in the corners. I just kind of blanked on that fact just now, but yeah, generally you're going to want to be in your high speed throughout the straightaways, and if you're in somebody's toe, you're going to hit the top of the 6th gear like instantly, so it's always best to be there. But well, I've also heard that it's best to just stay in 5th gear around the track, as it makes your cornering as easy as possible, and it gives you some great grip throughout the corners, just because you don't have as much speed built up to cause understeer and hit the outside wall, which is a huge problem, and it's something that well, I'm hoping I don't do throughout the race, but honestly, I do hit this outside wall up here all the time, so the ultimate goal is just to avoid that at all costs. As you can see there, the back end getting a little bit squirrely, so well, that is the end of qualifying here. We only have 2 minutes to go until the race starts to grid and we get ready to go green, but 8th place, as I can see on the timing board. I would have been happy with a little better, but obviously just trying to maybe not totally focusing there. It was a mediocre lap. I'm actually surprised about how much oversteer I got there on the corner exit. You see here coming out of, that's corner 1 there. Just watch how much the back end comes around there and managed to save at that time, but it's definitely something to watch out for in the race. Just generally, I'm feeling more confident really on the longer run and trying to plan out for over the stretch of a long race. I think when it comes down to fuel consumption and conservation and things like that, I think that's where I'm probably going to excel, if anywhere, throughout the race. So, well, now we just wait a couple of minutes, as you can see up there, minute 40, and we're just getting ready to go green for the actual proper race tonight. I do have limited access to the chat on the side, so I'll throw YouTube up on my other screen, and if anybody does want to throw anything in the chat, and maybe we can get some good chats going while we're waiting under yellow, which I'd imagine, unfortunately, is the thing that will have happening semi-frequently. Now I'm hearing the broadcast in my ear, so I'll just keep that paused, and I'll be able to check the chat there. So, again, just a few minutes to go until we get ready to go green. As you can see, the field is pretty large for tonight, 13 guys. So there is your full lineup for tonight's race. As you can see, actually, a newcomer to the series, qualifying just above me in the 27 car. That's Woody Mahan, who is a new driver to the series. He'll run the second half of the year. By the sounds of it, he is actually Andrew Bedrosian's official teammate, which is good because Andrew's been looking for a teammate for quite a while. So, Lad Motorsports Research and Development will have a official teammate, which is good to see. So, what else to go over? Trying to think. Oh, one important thing to mention. I am going to have a voice chat open. I'm pretty sure with just my dad. I know a lot of drivers have voice chats open with specific teams. Obviously, being an unofficial driver, I do not have a team, but I don't think my dad is in a team chat either. So we're going to probably have a team chat open some of the race, try to coordinate strategy and things like that. And you actually will hear the entire driver chat. I've just had it turned off for the last little while. So you'll hear the general driver chat of everybody. I'll try to turn it down a little bit, but we do communicate when it comes to things like what am I trying to say? Pace car locations and things like that. Just important stuff to relay around the track, just to other drivers to avoid incidents and things like that. So, well, we can now get ready to go for the real broadcast. We're just about to start gridding right now. I am going to put the track map up there in the top right. So let me just check my screen, make sure everything that people could possibly need there is up. As you can see, we are parked in the 8th spot. We're going to be starting in the 8th position tonight. So, well, from this point on, we are getting ready to go for the actual real broadcast. So, again, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching, and hoping that you guys enjoy. Something a little bit different than usual, but Well, hopefully you guys are gonna have a good time, and about a minute and a half until we go green here. So getting ready to go. Let me just check my sound levels are pretty good. They're a little quiet, but I have to check out what the chat is going to be. I'm likely going to make little changes to the audio throughout the race under cautions, but for the time being, everything seems pretty good. So, well, we are getting ready to go. There we go. We are ready to go green here. So let me just throw up the everything proper in order. Get my mouse off the screen, and everybody is about to start wishing each other good luck. But let me just turn my volume up, and we're getting ready to go here. So, yeah, pulling it out of the grid. Whoever is parked in front of me, just taking a minute, and we're up to speed. So, well, hopefully you guys can see on the bottom there the timing tower is all set up. So, for those of you that maybe need to keep track of me as compared to the other Marshall Crocker on the field, of course, my father. I know it doesn't put our little abbreviation there for senior or junior there. So I'll be the M Crocker with the green next to him all race. The green just means that that's the driver you're on board with, and obviously you'll be on board with me throughout the race, just because I'm the only driver's perspective you'll get. As it is an onboard live stream. So just look for the green M Crocker there, and that's me. And then I think a few spots back is my father. Provided that they didn't put the acronym in. I actually can't see it. I don't think they did. But my screen's a little bit far away, so well, we're gonna have to focus up a little bit. Starts at Indy can be a little bit difficult. I'm just gonna warm the tires up here a little bit. So getting ready to go green in a minute. I actually don't have my team. Oh, there it is. Let me just check in with my dad here on the team chat.
Keep it clean and have a fun race.
All right, good luck, everybody. Good luck, Dad. Let's have a good race.
Good luck, everyone. Have fun.
Okay, we're getting ready to go green here. Just coming around the third corner of the track. Getting ready for a semi-early start. We're going to probably go green right off the entrance to pit road, which is coming up in just a second. Just trying to tell where guys around me are. That light blue card on my inside is Woody Mahan. Right in front of me is Rich Foligno, who I actually had a pretty good time with last night in the final practice, or at least before the warm-up tonight. But I'm going to be quiet for a couple laps as we're getting ready to go green here. Pace car's off, and here we go. Well, certainly not the ideal start, as I'm sure you guys could have just noticed. Just 2 laps in, getting caught in a bit of an unfortunate wreck, so not much you can do about that one. I was thinking about diving to the bottom, but with Mr. Mahan under me, that wouldn't have been the most sportsmanlike opportunity, so actually not sure how much damage I do have. The car is surprisingly keeping up to speed, so let's just see if I can make this corner, and then if I can, which it actually appears I'm able to. Actually, surprisingly so. Going through the gears pretty slow, but just to let you guys know, as with normal broadcasts, we do actually have the normal 2 quick repairs turned on, so throughout the race, if need be, I kind of have 2 free resets when it comes to come down pit road, but just going to check it up really quick, which actually... no, I'm actually surprisingly in decent repair. Even I nailed Rich pretty good, but no, surprisingly still okay. So with that, let me just check. You guys can probably see on the timing tower who is in the pits and who isn't, but by the looks of it, only Rich and Marco went out as a result of that incident. So pit road's open. I'm going to come down this time, starting from the back of the grid, back of the line. It's always ideal to come in, get new tires, just to kind of counteract the possible damage I'm going to have on, and then if I do have damage, yeah, exactly. Gonna have to load it up there, but yeah, the pit road entrance speed throughout the race is going to be 60 miles per hour. I'm not sure if we are going to have green flag pit stops, but if we do, we are going to have to focus on that. Some guys might get pit penalties, like for entering too fast. It's definitely a possibility. We get quite a few of them in my experience, so the hope is that we don't, but definitely something to look out for. I got to find my pit box because there it is, but it did change its location from practice, so. Well, we're going to get 5 seconds to repair. So honestly, I'm amazed I made it out that clean with the strong damage I made to Rich, but the strong contact, I should say. But yeah, not the ideal way to start off the race. But I had a pretty good first lap. I was feeling comfortable there. Woody seems like a pretty reliable guy when it comes to keeping his line, so we had a pretty good start there. But yeah, unfortunately, just not really anywhere to go there to start off. But again, if I don't have to use any quick repairs to repair damage, well, that's wonderful, and I will gladly save them for later in the race where they're probably going to be more necessary. So 2 to green here. The yellow flags actually aren't that long here, I find, at Indy, which is always advisable because I'm sure you guys are familiar with our broadcasts in the past, full of pretty much constant yellow flag stints. So we're actually going to start behind my dad, so that is something kind of cool. I'm not sure why my team chat changed, but so yeah, we are getting ready to go green here, in another lap's time of that is. Just looking here through the standings, just to see where everybody is. So Logan Paxley, who I think jumped ahead pretty decently on the very first restart. I actually didn't notice who started on pole. I think Logan did. But feel free to tell me in the chat if I'm wrong. I honestly didn't get a chance to go through it. But Logan is currently in the lead with Andrew to his outside. Andrew's a guy who I know has been putting in some good time here once again. Again, he doesn't, as of yet, have a win in the Karts Computer Series, at least not officially that I'm aware of. So, well, you never know. This could be the one, of course. And I would argue this is almost has more championship effect provided a driver were to make the playoffs than just a normal points-paying race would, because we're getting to choose the track and car for the final race of the season. That's a lot of power, especially as it pertains to there being only 3 races to determine a champion once the points reset at the end of the year. So you never know. It's a lot of stakes, and I'm sure that for the guys like Logan and Michael and Andrew, who kind of have their ticket to the playoffs virtually punched already, provided they don't fall apart or miss a couple races throughout the rest of the season. Could have some pretty big stakes, and I'd be interested to see a guy like Rich Felina, who I know is at the back of the field right now, but who's had a really good set of races, and is definitely a guy I think could be a strong contender, definitely for a playoff spot throughout the rest of the year. If he were to get the pick and win his first race here in the All-Star race, and then go on to choose his track of choice, so it's a lot of stakes, and in a 100-lap race, there's a lot of strategy left to go. So. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the race. I know that first little stint was not the most eventful, certainly not ending as quick as it did, but as guys start to use quick repairs, and I of course I'm not hoping people have to drop out, but if guys end up having to... Okay, sounds good. I'll try to make it clean. But yeah, as you can see, we're just about to go green here. I kind of lost my train of thought there, is what I was saying. But yeah, even with my dad, I know we don't coordinate a ton of stuff, just because really strategy isn't too much up in the air. Yeah, I think just check up as much as you need to. Just prioritize making the corners. And I know guys will make mistakes and get rid of their quick repairs early. Okay, getting ready to go here. Just gonna wait. We have coordinated with my dad that I may have a semi-free pass here. Of course, provided I'm able to catch up and make it clean, which is always the goal here. You never want to make a pass too sketchy. Certainly not on lap 6 of a race. Oh man, the guys in front of us got a crazy big jump. I am quite a ways back here. We're in the draft here on my dad, so actually, hopefully we're far back enough that we're able to avoid incidents should they happen right in front of us. He's going to dive up to the top, so try to get in his draft and go up all the way to the 6th gear just to get as much of a run as possible. Oh, not sure I'm loving being this far back, going for a move on the inside. We're actually going to wait a little bit, and we'll give him the inside line for now, and then we'll try to make the pass happen out of 4 here. Or the straightaway, as we're now hearing. Just in the draft, so keeping it relatively straight here. He's going a little bit to the bottom, but whoever this is in front of us just made contact with the wall. Got to go under him and make sure we get by him pretty reliably. Not sure who that was. It was one of the Diabolique cars. I think that was Jean Guerra, unfortunately. So got my dad breathing down my neck again in the draft, but I think the unofficial plan is to just kind of chill back here and wait out whatever may happen up front. And honestly, if it comes down to a case of fuel mileage and a long-term green flag stint, I'm not opposed to being this far back, at least not for the time being. So only on lap 8 when we come across the line of the race here, but still plenty of action to go here. So it's a marathon, not a sprint, and honestly, like an 8th position, that's surprising for this far back in the field. Somebody's going around up front. Going to go all the way to the bottom to avoid them. If they make contact with somebody else, that could be a caution in just a moment. Got to check who that was. It's whoever was in 6th last lap, so I'd imagine it is Justin Lewick, according to my my telemetry. I'm not familiar with everybody's paint liveries tonight. I know some people are just running their normal series liveries, like the Diabolique guys are just running their traditional black, yellow, and white cars, and I'm obviously running the Connor Daly light blue Gallagher entry, but I'm not sure for everybody else in the field, so we'll have to check as we maybe see them on yellow flag stints and stuff like that. But as you can see, over the course of the stint, it's starting to wash out more and more towards the outside wall. I'm still convinced I have a little bit of damage, so if we get later into the race and I don't need to use them for anything, I might use a quick repair just in favor of trying to get the car up to the top speed I possibly can, especially when we get back in a line where I need to draft and actually make some passes for position under green. So you can see Josh Gallagher up there in the background, who we're actually starting to catch a little bit lap by lap. Josh, who actually won the, those of you that watched last season will remember, he actually won the maiden race, the first ever race in the Karts to Computer Series at Indianapolis here in the Dallara. So there is precedent for him to do pretty well for himself in this race, and currently kind of, I think, doing the same strategy as both myself and my dad are, just kind of waiting back a little bit and letting the race come to you. So just going to check the actual standings here for a second to see where everybody is. So Logan, Andrew, Michael still the top 3, and then Woody after that, and Jordan West, who makes a return. I don't think he was here with us for our last race, but he has come back tonight, which is good to see. So again, a pretty good turnout. I know Devin Crosby wasn't able to make it tonight, and there were a few part-time guys that I threw the call out to see if they wanted to come in and join us, but unfortunately unable to. That might be a caution as well. I'm not sure who that was that we just went by. That looks like it was Michael Krobach, or no, never mind. I was going to say according to my telemetry there, but I guess it wouldn't be. So whoever's in front of Josh is starting to fall back as well. It's Jordan West up there that's I think having some issues keeping pace with the guys in front. So if Jordan continues to slip back, that might be what we need for Josh to get a little bit preoccupied. Maybe that's our chance to move up and gain a few positions. They're going side by side up there up front. I think that's Woody and probably Michael there. Either Woody and Michael or Woody and Andrew. I'm sure exactly as to how to tell, but Woody does have a connection with Michael and the Lad Pedal guys. I think he claimed he was the first ever Lad Pedal Motorsports driver to get a win for the affiliate themselves. So there's definitely a bond between Michael and himself. Oh man, we are going to go way wide that time. Catch the wall. Might have a little bit of damage from that. I heard a little bit of a sound there. Yeah, we're definitely starting to lose it. That was pretty, honestly, pretty drastic for one lap. So we're going to adjust the handling just a little bit. Try to keep it straight. Get him adjust stuff a little bit. Put more grip in the front tires. That way we can counteract the understeer that we're going to have as a result. But well, damage there. We're definitely going to need to use a quick repair on the next caution. But I'll keep the relative screen up and actually see if we do continue to make up ground to the two guys in front. Those being Gallagher and West. But my fast repair is turned on automatically for the next caution, which we do not want. Or actually, well, we might, but I never like to have it on automatic. I like to turn it on when I go into the pits. So we'll check in a moment where guys are behind me. I can see somebody there in my rearview mirror. Not sure who that is. I think it's probably my dad. Actually, it's Marco Felice who's a lap down. So honestly, if Marco wants the position, he can very well have it. Yeah, he's going to take it himself. So There goes Marco underneath. Gonna make the position pretty handily, but he's gonna burn some tires up to do so. You can see the guys in front are starting to pull away a little bit as a result of the little brief charade off the wall. We're gonna go even wider this time. You can bet as the tires get worse and worse and lose traction, the guys are gonna start to wash up into the wall more and more. And well, when that does happen, Rich is gonna go really close, but makes a pretty clean pass there. But once the tires wear out more and more, we're probably going to see another caution here. And well, at the moment, that's kind of what we need. But honestly, provided I'm able to make it around here, which with the minor damage I have is easier said than done. But once that does end up happening, then well, more than likely we will. I will be more than okay seeing a caution at that point. So. I had to blow it up real big that time. You can see the two guys in front just starting to fly away, and I think it's my dad's turn. I got damage. You can just pass me on the inside next time, or right here. Well, there we go. So we got the guy coordinated pretty cleanly. Oh, he's gonna take a brief run in the grass there, but made it out clean. So. Yeah, again, like looking at the timing tower, I know we're about 12 seconds back of Logan in the lead, but again, once a caution comes out, we're able to get a quick repair going and get the car back up to normal. It's just not going to matter, so. I got to focus here. I'm just taking really inside entries into the corners, and I'm washing it on exit, which is kind of the opposite of what you want to do to conserve tires. You want a late apex here. And hit the wall again, just trying to get as high of an apex as I can, getting sloppy. So there we go. So that was better. Yeah, that's about just as much as you want to hit the apex, and then you wash out. And even that, not gonna make it reliably. So we're gonna have serious enough damage. I think I'm coming in for a quick repair this time. So well, we're gonna pit, throw some fuel in the car, just to try to get it fueled up as possible. We may be able to, based on what lap I come in, maybe make this a fuel mileage race. I never obviously want to do that, but the possibility is there. The lucky dog rule is on as well, so if I am able to become the lead car in the lead lap once we come into the pits this time, I'm going to blow it up pretty good just to make sure we make it, and got it. So again, you always want to come in as quick as you possibly can if you're able to make it into the pits, but obviously if you come in too fast, you're going to take a pit road penalty. So we managed to avoid one here. I can't tell if anybody else is in pit road. I believe everybody else is out on the track there. So going to come into the pits. Pretty good entry, actually. So see relative to us where the other drivers are. So we're going to get passed by the leaders and go a lap down. But honestly, it's a small price to pay for having the car back up and running again and to its full extent. So, and pit road limiter is off. Back out of the pits. And we'll back up to speed with a full car. Once guys come into the pits, then we're back in business because we'll be on the lead lap. But again, unfortunate that we had to do that at all, just as you guys saw, as a result of, unfortunately, my inability to avoid the wall there in that certain stint, especially after that first little contact. It just felt like kind of a snowball effect. So, see where we are on track. Josh is right in front of us, who we were chilling with earlier. So, well, we are going to have the quickest tires in the field, but I'm going to try to conserve them a little bit better in this particular run. I'm going to try to focus up a little bit in this next little stint, probably talk a little bit less, just to try to make up some ground and make sure that, well, actually we have Marco behind us battling for position, so the stakes just got a little bit higher here, but yeah, I'll try to make up some room, maybe get my lap back here depending on how far Logan is on new tires. Somebody got around the inside there between 1 and 2. Apparently no caution again, which is surprising. It looks like the automatic iRacing cautions are being a little bit lax this race, but we're going to have a big run on Jordan. He's going to take the inside line here. Kind of a bold choice there, but we have new tires, so that was a little bit too wide to take the entry, but Yeah, I didn't want to make the pass there. He's going to dive back to the top to take it, but whoa, had to whoa it up big time there to make the corner. Again, these guys are going to be on old tires as compared to my new ones, so let's see if we're able to get the jump here. Is he going to block the inside again? It doesn't look like it, so should be able to make the pretty clean pass there. Going to have to go way to the bottom in order to make it clean, but it does appear that we've been able to, so again, the last thing I want to do is check Jordan up too much, but looks like he actually will have the draft on me this time. I don't know if he's going to pass me, but I get one move, so we're just going to put the car here and see if that works. Looks like Jordan's going to think better of it and just get away a little bit, or not at all. Actually, we got a pretty good run off the corner, so if we hit a couple more good apexes, then hopefully we should just be able to take off from the guys around us. Again, the perfect scenario right now would be to be able to catch Logan, get all the way back through the field to the first position, and then have a caution come out, at which point we're right back on the lead lap with all the guys around us. I'm not sure who is parked there, but they've been there a couple of laps now. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but as you can see, kind of hit the curb a little bit early and got a little loose there, but managed to make it stick. Now the next guy in line is Andrew Bedrosian up the road a little bit there. You just saw him enter into turn 3. Well, good to see the car parked on the inside there has gone away, so that was a little bit of a distraction visually, so glad that that's gone. But well, we're getting closer and closer to Andrew every lap, but as you can see, we're starting to wash out ourselves again, so clearly these guys are a little bit better at conserving tires than I am, or I think my lifting point's just a little bit too late, and I'm coasting too much speed into the corners and putting too much pressure on the tires. Even that time did it again. I had to blow up real hard for that one. My entry into 4 is just a little bit lacking right now, especially getting as much of a toe on Andrew as I am through the corners. So the last thing I want to do is be in dirty air in the corners, and that's the one thing I keep unfortunately doing. So you can see Andrew's starting to slip up to the top there, almost made contact with the wall. And Andrew's a pretty polished driver, so you got to think if he's sliding up there, well, surely other people are coming just as close. And if that's the case, then I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a caution in just a couple of laps, which would be actually okay timing right now because I would get the lucky dog pass, but probably going to wait to make the pass on Andrew if we're able to until this straightaway. Let's just get an actual good entry here this time. There we go. We're able to get one that time, so get his draft, see if we can make a clean pass here up to corner 1. No, I think we're just a little bit too far back unless Andrew gives us the line, which actually does appear he has, but we don't have new enough tires to go completely under him, so for the time being, he can have that spot. And we're going to go side by side down here. Oh, he's pressuring us quite a bit here. We're going to hold our ground. I know what piece of track I'm privy to, so... Well, there we go. We make the pass there, and now we just move on to Woody Mahan, who I know we were driving with very briefly a little earlier. Very impressive showing by Logan Pax. Actually, he's 8 seconds ahead, and he still doesn't appear to be dropping back too far. So I know I've been semi-preoccupied with guys, but still, new tires versus old tires and barely gaining any ground. That's a little worrying, honestly, when it comes to the strategy later in the race. Got the back end around pretty hard that time. Starting to get more and more oversteer. I think I did make an adjustment earlier to the handling there with the weight jacker, but I don't think I've touched it since. So I lost my weight jacker page. There it is. Ooh. In the process of getting distracted, I just hit the wall again. And with only one more quick repair, which honestly I'm saving for a crash late in the race. Never want to make little contacts like that, whether it's a ton of damage or not. So. May start to fiddle with the weight jacker a little bit as the understeer gets worse. We'll make one quick this time, which just affects the handling of the car a little bit, allows for the back end to come around a little bit more, but you just start to wash out more and more like that. So part of me is debating fiddling with the fuel settings, thinking about long term in this race. I don't honestly know exactly what the fuel stints are, but I definitely know that if I'm able to, that would be a good way to try to do the kind of comeback I'll have to do from my current position. It sounds like Logan is going to come into the pits this time. My father, who is currently still in the lead lap, I believe, is in the pits as we speak. So I think we've been running like fairly decent lap times. I think Logan is coming in this time because I'm starting to catch him very rapidly. But yeah, we'll see when the lad pedal guys come in reference to Logan. So there's Logan that time. Michael not too far ahead. It'd be nice to get my lap back and try to pull away a little bit and then focus on perhaps the strategy should we get a caution. If we don't get a caution, the track is about 45 seconds long. 45 seconds is a lot of time to make up under green, so dirty air in there through the corner, so had to blow it up a little bit again. We're starting to reel him in a little bit, but again, we actually have Jordan West behind us, who I think just came into the pits that time, so Jordan's going to be on fresh tires, and that was a horrible corner entry, so Jordan may be able to make the pass sooner rather than later. Load up a little bit there. So thought Woody Mahan was going to debate the pits that time, but he got a horrible exit off of 4, so maybe this is the chance we'll need. All the way to the bottom. Didn't think that was going to jolt as aggressively as it did, but going to make the move there, make the corner properly too. We're starting to have a lot of oversteer in the back. Those rear tires in specific are starting to go. We may have to fiddle with the weight jacker a little bit just to get the back end in check. Even if it means a little bit of understeer. Really, I just want to be able to make the corners more reliably. So it's still going a little bit. I honestly, in all my testing, I haven't had my tires go that way where the back started to lose traction like that. So. Well, we're coming up here to Michael, so we will get our lap back momentarily, provided we're able to make the pass clean. Good to see that actually Andrew is actually on track, only, what is it, 4.3 seconds ahead. Again, really the entire possibility of me coming away with a win this race is entirely reliant on my ability to get a caution. Jordan West is going to flank to the inside. We're going to go 3 wide this far back in the field, which always kind of a surprise to see, but so Jordan will make the move there. Jordan, that was of course 4 positions, so I believe Jordan will take over placement of my 7th spot. So, sorry, 6th spot actually. So, which isn't really a surprise. Granted that I came into the pits quite a little bit earlier, and again a little bit of contact earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if my car is a little bit less optimal than it should be. That was a horrifying bit of understeer there. I didn't even think my entry was all that bad. It just falling into the outside wall there. Jordan's taken off. Again, like the possibility of this race being a win for the number 28 car here is very reliant on a caution happening in the next couple of laps. Now that we got my lap back, that's the exciting part. But Now we're just going to focus on hitting our marks and maybe try to make up ground to Jordan here, but we'll see if actually Andrew continues to fall back. Michael came into the pits this time, so I am not sure if what happened there. It said he was going by in the pits, but we had just passed him. So I'm kind of wondering if Michael got a pit penalty, which you never hope for anybody. And that was just... So Josh takes over the lead. Remember, he won last year's race pretty decently on fuel strategy. Like, he had a great long-term strategy going and managed to make it work and came away with the win. So the possibility he's doing it again, he's going to make the fuel strategy work to his advantage, is very real. Or just remember how far back in the field he was. Like, it's a very real possibility that he was just kind of coasting a little bit, was in a lower fuel map settings trying to conserve fuel. And Michael, again, we're coming towards him on track, so I'm not sure if we've moved up or what, or if he had a time penalty, but there's Woody Mahan on the inside. Depending on where he exits, we might actually be able to make the pass and take his position, which I think we will be able to, but how long will we be able to hold it? I'm going to say probably not long. So it is good, though, after all the kind of adversity we've faced throughout the start of this Indy 250, that we're still relatively in the mix. I know, obviously, we're going to have to pit a lot earlier than the rest of these cars, but the way the pit cycles work out, even without a caution, we might actually be in decent order. Woody's going to have a huge run on the straightaway there. We're going to try to move to the bottom, maybe to cut off his draft, but so we're up to 5th. Woody is for position, so way newer tires. I'd imagine this is kind of a foregone conclusion, but well, we're going to do our best to defend if we can. Michael must have had a pit penalty because he is now sitting behind us, which is quite a surprise for sure. Yeah, Woody's coming pretty hard this time into corner 3. Not going to go under this time, so we're going to hold the position, but not sure if he knows the status of our tires or what. But if he gets good enough of a run, I'm not going to make too much of a fuss about it. Like, I know my tires are in rough condition, and yeah, so he's going to make it pretty easily that time. Had to do a major checkup just to make it through corner 4, so. Well, now we got to avoid the dirty air in the corner here, which is going to go for a little bit of an unconventional approach. So we should... Oh, actually, we came very close that time. Managed to save it pretty well. But these tires are starting to go on us, and oh yeah, that's too much damage to not come in for this time. So just a rough race so far. Logan continues to lead at the front there, but Andrew's not too far behind. Actually, Jordan West is impressively close. Yeah, we got major steering issues. Sorry, just gotta pitting this time. Oh, well, the worst possible scenario has come true, ladies and gentlemen. I was gonna say I'm trying to get aggressive with these pit entries to make up time, but well, now we have to for sure use our final quick repair, which should rate out our steering. But the unfortunate part is we are going to be out of them for the rest of the race, so we'll have to be careful with how aggressive we get for the remainder of the event. And again, if I run out of quick repairs and I'm out of the race, I'll just call it like a normal broadcast. So that is the plan there. So our steering is back to normal. We have a new race car, and well, now it's time to get serious. It's rolling up our sleeves here, and we got some work to do if we want to find any way to salvage this and come out with the win. So again, I think we're just going to do a little period of a little bit quieter, and I'm going to try to focus, make up some time here. I think that's Jordan West that just went by. So let me just get in the groove here for a couple minutes, and hopefully we can make up some time. And if there's a caution, well, we might be right back in this event. Well, I know it's been a few laps of a break there, but just needed some time to kind of regroup and refocus. And actually, in my efforts, I've been making up a pretty decent amount of time. So my line is definitely a lot smoother, I got to say, than before. So as you can see, the goal is always to be hitting these curbs, and whilst talking and trying to focus on drivers around me, I was starting to creep up a little bit and burn up more of my tires than I needed to. So as my spotter just said, we are now at the halfway point. So if I get a straightaway here, I'll just check the standings and see as of halfway where everybody is right now. So Logan is remaining in the lead. Mr. Logan Paxa is still your race leader by about 11 seconds. So honestly, isn't breaking away from Andrew all too quickly. And then our new driver Woody Mahan rounding out the top 3 there. After that, Jordan and Michael rounding out the top 5. Again, I think Michael must have just had a pit road penalty or something. Like, he's not that far back, but yeah, I definitely would have thought he'd be still up there at the front with how quick he was at the beginning. So after that, it's just Josh, my father, and then myself. Again, I'm the first driver a lap down, but actually, based on where my dad shows up on the telemetry, I might actually not be that far back from him. So 19.7 seconds, yeah, on track. So let's see if that gap will get any smaller, and it does appear to. It's dropping a little bit lap by lap. So and then the hope becomes that with some good laps put in, and again, always, well, let's hope for a caution, but if we are to not get one, I guess he would kind of become our next on-track adversary, and 20 seconds is a long way, but that was a horrible corner apex there. Sorry about that. Yeah, as we get another second on him there that lap, that's I guess the goal is just that he's kind of our next on-track guy to go for, and then after him, I know Josh is near him, but I'd imagine Josh is likely as a result of fuel consumption or fuel conservation efforts rather than necessarily pace, because of course he was our defending winner here. You know that he has on-track pace here at Indianapolis. So hopefully everybody's having a good time watching. I know it's been semi-uneventful, but maybe it's still cool to see what it's like driving on iRacing, and especially in an Indy car, because with the real-life windscreen and all the controls on the wheel, this is kind of what a real-life IndyCar driver see. We got horrible understeer that time. I had to roll way up to make the corner there, but Jordan West comes into the pits this time, so we will get another position back. Now moving up to the 7th spot. So again, that may be just with pit stints and such, but I'm interested to see by the time we come in where I'll come out. Depending on how quickly I continue to catch my dad, I might honestly kick the fuel down a map and see if I can try to save more fuel per lap, just for long term, again, just in case that comes in handy there. Again, so we have almost 16 laps of fuel. Like we got some time before we have to come into the pits. Again, we can try a fuel conservation strategy. I'm just trying to plan out how far we could go. Honestly, I think, knowing how long I've been out, there's the possibility we could try to go to lap 68 and then see if I could conserve from there. It might be a tough task, but honestly, I think if we don't get a caution, that's kind of our only plan. And then provided I stay on this spot where I am a lap down, it would honestly just be okay if we got a caution anyway, provided we were in the spot such that the caution would still leave us the first driver a lap down, and as such the lucky dog driver that would get put back in the lead lap. And continuing to catch my dad for the moment, so as I mentioned, I might consider knocking it down or knocking the fuel down a level and trying to conserve more. I need to get the back end in check as well, so we are going to knock down the weight tuner a couple clicks just to avoid the back end sliding around as much as it is. Yeah, it's still not great. So as you can see, we washed up real hard there. I think this is Andrew Bedrosian in front of us that we're starting to catch as well. So bad corner there, so he'll break away a little bit. But yeah, Andrew and Logan in front of me still staying a pretty decent ways away. You can keep track on the relative tracker on the right-hand side, the bottom right. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but that tells me how close I am in seconds to the drivers around me, including Woody Mahan behind me, who I believe is likely on new tires and as such will probably be catching me momentarily. Again, the hope is for a yellow flag right now. That's kind of what would be my savior. The only problem being that if Logan were to catch my dad and lap him before I got up, and we have had another wall hit. There we go, right as the caution comes out. Okay, so Oh, horrible timing there. Right as we take damage, we get the caution to come out. So, again, I'm out of quick repairs, ladies and gentlemen. That didn't seem drastic enough that it's something that'll put me out of the race. But yeah, right as I did a pretty good job at not checking the telemetry there in the corners for a while, but I was pretty confident with my line in that time. Went to check it and instantly regretted it. So we are the lucky dog. So again, that came out at the perfect time, right before my dad was passed by Logan. So again, you can see there the yellow writing telling me that I am the lucky dog candidate. So which is what we're hearing from the chat. And oh well, that was. Gosh, literally 3 seconds later, if that had just come out a little bit earlier, I would have been okay. Bit of an internet thing as well. Saying error detected on a network device. You guys are completely off, so. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me on the broadcast. I know my internet is appearing to be a little faulty right now. There we go, we're back. So, sorry about whatever network delay that was, ladies and gentlemen. I had it happen a few days ago in a on just like a personal race, just playing for fun, so not exactly sure what's causing those, but we do have to catch the car in front, which is, I believe, Andrew Bedrosian. So there's the pace car up ahead. There's Logan and Andrew. We're gonna get the free pass this time, which is good to see. So looks like they are pit eligible this time, and they will head in. We, however, will not. We're gonna wait and get our lucky dog lap, and then here we go. So we're being told to catch up to the pace car, and we should get our lap back here in a moment. We do need to pit for fuel, so. But honestly, more importantly right now is getting our lap back at all. So there we go. So we're going to get to go around the pace car as the lucky dog driver. Again, a little bit of damage to repair, so hopefully that is at least somewhat fixable. The thing is, really the plan now that we're back in the lead lap and we're kind of at square one with a little bit of damage is come into the pits, get new tires, fix the damage, and then I don't think we're going to have a car competitive enough to keep up in a battle for the win just under green. So it would more so become a case of trying to avoid incidents rather than anything else. So it's telling me to catch the field. We do have to come into the pits this time, but hopefully we do so quick enough that we come back out before the pace car does. So pit limiter is on. Gonna load it up to 60 there. So we'll keep an eye telemetry-wise on the location of the pace car. Actually, it doesn't look too far away. So okay, we might be in good condition here. Again, the caution, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances and immediately after I did something dumb. The important part is more so that we got one, so I guess we're not racing anybody. We can load it up here, put it in the pits. How much damage do we have? No damage, apparently. So, oh, I do severely doubt that. So we will get it all figured out here, put everything back to reset. Now, with that being said, so we have 42 to go. Next time by is what I'm being told, so now this becomes kind of a strategy thing. I'm wondering how many laps it's saying to the end. 41 on the dot. We could go for a fuel mileage plan here. I'm not particularly a fuel mileage specialist myself, but honestly, I'm thinking that's the plan. We do have some room makeup, actually. 16 seconds away from the rest of the pack, but I'm just going to do a quick test here just to see in the corners what that little bit of damage did to our car, and honestly, we are okay. This is reasonable, so we're going to come into the back of the line, but that's honestly what we want. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going for the win here. We're going for the long-term strategy. We're going the intellectual route to try to win this thing, and it's unfortunate because from a broadcast perspective, I would much rather be in a constant battle for the win up here, but we're going to throw us in the lowest fuel map because, again, we're going into fuel save mode now. We're playing the long game, and again, the thing is, we can save as much fuel as we want. We just have to keep about a 35-second buffer to when people pitting would have to come in, and if we're able to do that, we might be okay. So let's take a look at our fuel number. So 44. So it's going up as we conserve, which is again what we want. So tires are going to get rough. Tires are the part I'm not looking forward to. I'm just going to talk to my dad very quickly. Hey, so I'm back on the lead lap. I'm parked right behind you. I'm going for fuel strategy to the finish. If you put it in kind of like map 2 the rest of the race, and you just go for fuel strategy, I think we might be able to win on fuel. Because I'm seeing in my current, in map 2, I think we got 43 to the finish. I think it's 41 to go. So let's just chill at the back here. We're starting at the back of the line, put it in a low fuel map, and let's try to win this thing on fuel. You just got to keep it 35 seconds ahead of whoever pits. So like a second a lap slower per lap, and then we're okay. Okay, so we're going to bump the fuel back up, getting ready to go. So we're going to try to get a good jump here. If we can keep up to the guys in front, that would be ideal, and just keep it up as far ahead as we can. So everybody goes away up here, but... So as you can see, we're going to be a little bit slower on the straight lines than everybody else. As a result of adjusting the fuel map, you go up through the... you just rev up a little bit. There we go. So we got the pass here. The guys in front are still chipping around a little bit, but somebody on the inside there is throwing around like crazy. I think that's Rich Felino there that we just went by. So I would imagine that I think him and Marco may have come together again. Oh, really? This just becomes the stressful part because again, like I said, I'm not really a fuel strategy aficionado myself. I've attempted fuel strategy races in the past, but they don't always go the way I intend, mostly just because I don't actually experiment with fuel maps that much. So let's just check what our fuel is looking like. So 42 laps to the good. We'll keep an eye on that, and then if that gets too close, then we'll see where we go from there. Because again, we can keep it pretty close, provided that the guys up ahead don't make up too much ground. Because I think if they're going for position and not for fuel, then I think they're going to lose focus, and that's what'll kind of help us get the victory here. We're actually going to go down another map as well, because I kind of want it to the point where I just barely missed the 5th gear limiter, which I think where I have it now I should be able to. In a moment I'm also going to maybe touch the weight jacker a little bit, just because I think that'll cancel out the damage I took on that last stint right before the caution. So again, this might be a different situation if I hadn't taken that damage, but again, I don't think the car would have been competitive with even the slightest bit of change to how it handles in the front end. So this is the plan, and again, it's kind of just a thing of I know the plan, if it were to work, will win. It's just a case of can we execute it properly. Let's just check on our fuel numbers. So 37, that sounds low. We may even have to drop a map lower than that. Yeah, you're going to have to drop even lower than 2. You might have to go as low as 5 or 6 before the end of the stint. Just keep an eye on your fuel to go number. So we're going to go all the way down to map 5 here. There's a possibility in this effort that I'm going to have my dad start to make a move here, just because of how much slower we're going to go back through the gears when we get on the straightaways. But I'm in map 5, so if you get the pass, go and just go. You can go under this time. I'll keep an eye on it. If I think you need to, I'll let you know. What's your fuel number at right now? How many laps is it telling you have? Yeah, I think the draft is going to be the way to go. If you manage to make up some ground, you want to hop in front. I think you're conserving a ton of fuel in the draft. Yeah, I'm in map 8, so just catch up and try to hop in front. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we are going far slower than we were previous. All the way down in the lowest fuel map, so we will give my dad the room he needs and put it back in a higher map, so try to make up a little bit of ground, but again, yeah, I just think with the damage before, this is kind of our best option we got left, and looking around, just see where everybody is. So Logan is in a pretty good battle with both Michael and Woody there, so good to see the battle up front is progressing nicely. It looks like everybody else is kind of dropping back a little bit. We're honestly not too far behind the regular pack, so it's good to see. This plan, if we get the fuel going, might work. Sorry, can you just blow it up a little bit just so I can make up the ground? I think where I'm keeping it, I think if I keep it in like 5 or 6 and get in the draft, I'm okay, but okay, not yet. Yeah, I think we should be okay on that front, especially when guys start to pit. About 24 and a half. Yeah, I'd say not as much as the leaders. The top 3 are all battling. Yeah, so I guess the question becomes is... Yeah, I think a little bit. I'll check lap after lap, but I think if I can get a little bit closer, I'm okay, but don't blow up or anything. So again, as you can see, we're about 7 laps short, which is... I think if we can plan this out properly, I think we might be okay, but again, 7 is quite a bit to make up, and not to mention tire wear, but we really don't have any other choice at this point. We've kind of committed that this is kind of our only solution. Might have to start adjusting the levels as well, just because we're getting so much understeer here. So again, the tires are still just as prevalent as before, but I'm kind of forgetting about them in an attempt to worry about fuel. So I'm just gonna check the relative just to see how far everybody up front has started to break away. Andrew looks like the next guy ahead in line. Honestly, 15 seconds to the leaders. That's not bad. You might not believe this, but we're actually keeping up with the leaders in terms of pace, so I would honestly knock it down to about as low as you can go. I'm in 7 right now. Well, I guess we can just check the fuel number again, because this is the hardest I've conserved all race, and we're starting to make the number up a little bit, but again, I just worry, is it enough? So we're not as in the draft as I'd like to. So we're going to go down all the way to the lowest map here, and I don't know, I'm thinking that number just isn't getting close enough, quick enough, so going to load up real slow into the corners and see how long we can keep that viable for. Again, like, this is going to conserve like crazy. Yeah, I dropped to map 8. I'm going to try it for a minute, and if it doesn't work, then I may have to give up and try to push for the front. Okay, everybody at home, so what we're trying now is I'm trying to head into the corners in the 7th field map, which is second to lowest, and then putting it in 8th field map in the corners, which is basically the lowest possible. And as there is... Guys are starting to come in. That is interesting. I'm amazed that that many guys have come in this soon. I mean, it kind of works out, but again, the question is, how much room can I possibly make up Rich? Again, we're not making up the laps as quick as I think we need to. Yeah, I think it's too much of a burden to overcome. I might come in this time along with them and just try to push to the end. Again, like the longer these tires go, it just becomes a waiting game for something like that. Yeah, we're gonna head back into the highest fuel map, see what we can do. I gotta come in this time, try to make a push for the finish. If I can finish top 5, I think that's the dream. But I finished 5th last year for last year's All-Star race, and I know we've had a lot of adversity today, so honestly 5th might not even be that bad of a consolation prize. Oh! Right as I say it too. That might put us out. Trying to turn around and pit. We might, yeah. Got a penalty, got a lot of damage. Yeah, my race is over. Locked it up coming into pit lane. I may be able to come back out, but I'm going to be laps down. Well, that's definitely not the way I wanted that to end by any means. Let's come in and see if it's fixable, but Yeah.
Gosh, if it's slightly confusing, I am not
Well, that is going to do it for ladies and gentlemen for the end of this race. There is the final car that we ended it off with. Not sure what I can say. Just certainly wasn't the car I would have wow, can't even speak. Certainly wasn't the car I would have liked to end it with. So, but do you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? We can now actually call this like a broadcast. So let's switch it up a little bit. Throw it in live view. There is Mr. Woody Mahan as we speak. Let's throw all the graphics up and call this like a broadcast. We're going to kind of a surprise switch up there for all of you, but we're just going to put the wheel to the side very briefly, and then I will be all ready to go. And hi there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Indy 250, the All-Star Race for the Karts Computers Racing Series Season 2. As you guys may have just seen a moment ago, I was in the race, but now I'm not. So that was rough news there. It was did my very best, but unfortunately, with fuel strategy being what it was it was tough to make anything of it without taking some aggressive entries into corners and. Well, two aggressive entries on an old car with old tires with some leftover damage. It's going to make that happen. So, well, unfortunately, that is how that will end up for the time being. So, let's see how far down at the order I fall. I've already fallen to 11th, so it looks like that'll be where I finish off tonight. So, certainly not the race success I would have liked, but now I can actually call this race like a normal broadcast. So, welcome back to the normal racing series broadcast, everybody. I'm very dehydrated, but we're going to do our very best for the next 15 laps. So we are now on board with Mr. Woody Mahan, your current race leader tonight, and it's actually his first race in the series, so good start for Mr. Mahan. I'm honestly not sure too much about him. I know he comes back from a LPM background, and he was heavily endorsed by Mr. Michael Krobach, a fellow driver in the series, but yeah, really not sure as to well, his experience, his background in real life racing, or really anything about him, so we will have to figure out more about him throughout the course of the race, but as it stands right now in strategy, he is just flying away from the guys behind, and the only exception being Logan Pax, sitting about 2.4 seconds back there. See Logan a little bit behind, and I believe he's actually running an official iRacing entry, so no, just a Rebellion Racing entry, but in very similar iRacing colors, so well, he is sitting about 2.5 seconds back, actually sitting pretty consistently there, so well, Logan is pretty close to being able to get the prize for tonight, which is, of course, being able to choose the final race and car of the series. His adversary, Michael Krobach, in last year's championship was able to pick it, and Logan was still able to overcome it and find a way to win the championship regardless. So I'd imagine Logan would very much like to turn the tables and try to do the same thing here himself and be able to pick it for next year. But, well, obviously, you never know. Hi, everybody. Thank you for the good wishes about the race. Again, would have liked it to be a better outcome than that, but well, Woody Mahan is going to come in this time, meaning that Logan Paxton takes over sole possession of first place. And, well, my father, Marshall Crocker, you saw me coordinating with him just a moment ago, but he is still out, and he now moves up to the second position. So, again, unfortunately, I just don't think that the fuel conservation strategy we had earlier is going to be enough to the finish unless he was finding spots to conserve a ton over the course of the stint. But, well, Michael is still quite a ways back there. You see he's the number 4 car on the track map up top right there. So the possibility is there that Logan would have to come into the pit. My dad could win this thing on fuel, which would absolutely blow my mind. I wasn't able to do it, but I know it sounded like when I talked to him, he had a bit of a lead in terms of how much he was conserving. So, well, if he's got 14 to the finish, he may still be in business, but you can see just how much he's lifting there. His corner entries are a little high, meaning that he's having to check up quite a bit to make it through, but honestly, it looks like he is conserving quite well. We'll see when exactly he comes in, but well, that means for the time being, Logan Pax has got a pretty commanding hold of this race, provided he's just able to close it out. And if he were to pit again, that would be an entire different question, because he would probably come out. He'd probably come out in between Krobach and Mahan, honestly, which would be a great final battle to the finish between the top 3. But my question mark is Andrew Bedrosian was sitting right up there near the front here in the number 22 car there. Honestly, I think is his new car, kind of the I think it's cheetah print there, like cheetah print, and honestly, not quite sure. It's a pretty cool livery. I know he seems to design them himself, so pretty fancy livery here for him tonight. But Well, Mr. Bedrosian himself was sitting, I think, in third or fourth position a little bit earlier. He was having a pretty good go of it, but well, unfortunately now as a result, he's got a little bit of work to do, and I know he's a lap down at the moment. Your race leader, Logan Bax, is almost a full lap ahead of him, so I'm wondering if he just had a pit road penalty or something of the sort. But yeah, just unfortunate, unfortunate luck there. But again, thank you everybody. Oh, so it looks like my dad is coming in according to well, my live in-person feed of him in the other room. So well, 10 to go. Logan has a commanding lead here, and looks like we can expect my dad in the pits any lap now, or just about now. I think he's probably out of fuel this very lap, so he'll come into the pits, drop back about 32 seconds. He'll probably be too far out of range to do any better than 6th, but honestly, 6th for how far back we were at the beginning of that stint isn't too bad. Again, this is the exact spot I checked up a few moments ago and absolutely slammed into the inside wall, so oh, really just unfortunate luck there, and I'm hoping the next chance I get to come into a race and do a live stream format, it's maybe one that I'll have a little bit more success at. Oh, but yeah, currently now it's just a waiting game. Kind of cool to be able to make the transition from driving to commentary in the same race. Again, just kind of a waiting game here. Actually, we can look at the battle a little ways back for second place. Looks like Michael Krobach and Woody Mahan will form the second battle, which, again, knowing that they seem to have a long background together in the last 10 laps, we could see a pretty spirited fight between the two of them, especially, kind of considering the trust that certain drivers have together. You know, that a guy you've run a long time with, you're going to inherently have more faith in their ability to make safe moves than you would with somebody you've never raced against before. So I know most of the guys in the field will have never raced against Woody because this is his first race in the series, but you got to consider the possibility that, yeah, the fact that Michael knows him and he knows Michael, they're going to put some faith in each other in terms of how well they can battle with only 10 laps to go this time. Woody's going to dive to the inside. He's going to make a pretty convincing pass, but they're going to go side by side all the way up to 3. Woody's going to take the nose ahead and throws it to the inside. Should be able to make it stick, and I think he will. So you got to wonder from either a tire or maybe a fuel conservation perspective, but I thought both these gentlemen came in just a lap ago, so I don't think that would be the case, but Woody is pulling away there in that number 27 car. I'm not quite sure who his sponsor is yet. He's got an LPM car, but I believe he might just share the same sponsors as Michael. Man, he is chugging away up there in that 27 entry. He's not quite making up enough ground to Logan that I think he could honestly challenge him for the rest of the race, but Logan is coming into the pits this time by, so Logan into the pits, the number 1 car, the former champion, of course, as he does have that number 1 entry. So the Rebellion Racing red, blue, and white car will pit this time, meaning that I think if you look at the track map there, the aqua-colored Woody Mahan car will make his way around corner 4. And I mean, Logan's probably going to underfuel because he's only got 8 laps to the finish. But well, he's going to have to take tires, and it's going to take a little bit in order for him to get back out there. So I think he pulls into his box pretty well. Yeah, he seems to. So that was great placement as well. He's going to have a great run off. But well, Woody will go by this time. So Woody Mahan becomes your effective race leader here. And behind him, Michael Krobach about a second and a half back. But well, the question is, does Woody Mahan get to pick the final track if he were to win? I don't think he would. He's technically in the series the rest of the time, but I don't really like his first race being the one which he's able to pick. So maybe we can, if he were to win, then maybe we'll get kind of a discussion board going with him and effective second place finisher Michael Krobach, who I know did win our All-Star race last year. So I mean, effectively, if Woody were to win, well, then he wouldn't have won 2 years in a row. That was a lot of W's there. That was some impressive alliteration. But yeah, Woody does appear to be breaking away again by Michael from Michael by a pretty decent amount. 8 laps to go this time by, but he's already got that lead up to about 2.2 seconds. So impressive race for Woody overall. Definitely in his debut. I mean, I'm honestly not too surprised. It sounded like coming in, he had a lot of experience on the iRacing side in the past. But looking around the field a little bit further, first of all, Logan Paxa and Josh Gallagher become the battle for 3rd place. I know Josh has been out there for a little while, and then hence Logan is going to have newer tires, which effectively means it's not really going to be much of a battle per se for long. The only question mark becomes now is Logan going to be able to run quick enough laps on new tires that he might be able to make up those 12 seconds that he is now behind Mr. Woody Mahan, and maybe even the 9-second gap he's got to Michael. But looking behind him, I mean, Josh Gallagher, who again, I don't think is going to catch him, but Josh has had a pretty quietly successful race here. I mean, he's 4th at the moment, and again, you're defending race winner here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the IR18, but yeah, had a pretty quiet day overall. I mean, again, in my experience in the car, I didn't see him because a couple of early mistakes meant that I kind of chilled by myself for most of that stint. And, really, unfortunately, with cautions timing out the wrong way, it meant that Well, hence I am sitting up here talking to you guys, but really in all my efforts, I never really saw Josh once, so looks like he's playing the long game once again. He's kind of just sitting in the middle, and if something were to happen up there to either Woody Mahan or Michael Krobach, which is again a possibility at Indianapolis, one of the trickier tracks on the schedule, there's always the possibility that something like that could go down. But again, for the time being, it looks like guys will kind of end the race how they sit right now, which is impressive because it means my dad will come away with the top 5 finish. Again, you remember he just refueled a couple laps ago after, same as me, attempting the long-term fuel strategy where you just try to conserve enough that you don't need to come into the pits one more time. Interestingly enough, oh goodness, sorry about that. But interestingly enough, in our efforts, even still, we would have been a little bit too far back. I think without pitting, I think we probably would have lost too many seconds in order to make that strategy viable. But again, it was all we could do that late in the race, and worth a shot. And again, I'm sorry that I couldn't have a better performance for all of you, ladies and gentlemen. In reality, I likely should have practiced a little bit more just to be a little bit more polished in my corner exits, especially later in stints, which is specifically what I had trouble with. I was running some great laps in practice there when it came to pure race pace, but well, when it came to long-term conservation of tires and stuff, I guess that's where I kind of faltered. So, well, you live and you learn, and hopefully if we go on to another race like this in the future, and I will try to run more races going forward. At season's end, I'm kind of debating a different format as university starts for me, and maybe we'll look towards more hosted races for all the same drivers in the series, and maybe even a couple more if we recruit. But I'm thinking I do kind of like the way we've been doing these, and focusing more on the live stream kind of thing. So let me know in the YouTube chat. I mean, if it's something you're interested in after the season's over. Again, I'm not ruling out the possibility of a Karts and Computer Series Season 3. It's just really like the live streams I find more inherently entertaining personally. I honestly, like from a driver's perspective, I'm a very competitive guy when it comes to karting in real life, and just the same in iRacing. So if I could get a little bit more practice time and talk to some guys who were a little bit more up to speed when it came to came to car tuning and in-car adjustments to avoid some of the incidents I made today, then I would gladly come out and try to be more competitive in these races. And again, there have been a few tracks in the past. Sorry, I should mention with Woody Mahan coming across with 3 to go. Still your race leader. Nothing's really changed on that front. And Logan is making up a little bit of ground, but still unfortunately too far back to fight for the lead. But yeah, generally, I think it's something I consider if I were to have more practice. And I've done well at practices in the past. Looking to specifically Summit Point, Skippy last year. Same with Skip Arbor at Charlotte Roval. Both of them, I was running some great times in practice, and it was a shame I couldn't run in them. So going forward, if you want the series to shift to something more like that, where it was kind of a live stream format for the same series, because I know it's always nice to do the broadcasts with everybody there, but the only problem becomes, with our attendance lower as a result of the karting season. I know the karting season is kind of kicking into full gear over the course of the summer. And once school starts, it'll kind of be a schedule question about exactly how often these are able to happen. But if people are inherently interested enough in these kind of races to come out for, even if it wasn't the All-Star race, but to come out for a broadcast of this sort, it may be a little bit of a... We have a yellow coming out this time, which that's going to shake up this race heavily, right as I kind of started to tune out and assume that Woody had this race all but made. Where is the yellow on track?
You guys wrecked on purpose?
Man, I've been crab walking the whole time. Literally, my car wanted to turn right, and I'll let them into.
So that is Justin Lewick there that has the heavy damage. I was trying to listen in the background just to see exactly what happened, but so that was Lewick and West there. So Jordan West sitting a little bit ahead, coming out of corner 4, slowing down into the pits. I honestly not sure what happened there. I think it was Lewick trying to come into the pits a little bit too quick and nail them. I honestly don't know, but
When my car came down,
well, looking live, West is trying to make his way around the track, but again, a little bit too much damage. I think he might be done for good. Or at least he's going to give up a couple of positions under caution, but that makes this race a lot more interesting. You got to assume everybody is going to come into the pits under caution. And again, like a green-white checker, we're going to have 2 to go by the time we go back to green. So as you can see there, the lap count goes over 100. That would have technically been Mr. Mahan's 100th lap, and it'd be the white flag. But of course, with the caution coming out, this, yeah, we're going to have a fun battle to the finish. This is probably the best way that the series could have ended off. But yeah, now that we're waiting a little bit for the caution to go green, David asked in the chat, how's karting going? Honestly, I made my first race back to karting last Saturday, and really couldn't have gotten much better. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the mini Indy format. Maybe for those of you that don't actually, or sorry, the rookie format, I should say, that don't run in the rookie series, maybe don't know how it works. It's just 2 heat races and then followed by a feature race. In my first race back, I was lucky enough, I guess, to not be too rusty and maybe returners, beginners luck or whatever. But I did come away with a win in both heats from 5th place and 8th place respectively. And then in one of the best battles I've had in karting in a long, long time, I was able to come away with the win in the feature as well. So swept it 3 for 3 in my only race of the year. Looking at the field, so Woody's going to stay out, but it looks like the trio of Krobach, Paxa, Gallagher, and perhaps my father are all going to come into the pits. But yeah, looks like he's going to stay out. So bold maneuver here. Actually, it looks like he's letting somebody by on track. I think it's telling him to let Jordan West by, but Jordan has a little bit too much damage for that to be viable. So, but yeah, so karting debut went great. Thank you, Scott, in the chat. Yeah, it was great. It was good to get back out. I know, obviously, you guys see me as the commentary guy in here, but honestly, the passion I have for karting when I'm able to go out was kind of, I wouldn't say overshadows it, but really, like, karting and racing was kind of, it was my passion in a meaningful way long term. So really, racing was kind of what I wanted to do as a kid, and even now, but unfortunately, it's a combination of both just lack of circumstance and also height to a certain extent. I certainly couldn't run these open wheel cars in real life. Being 6'5" as I am in real life, as those of you me will know. But yeah, honestly, I have a passion for racing quite a bit, and yeah, I mean, I'll always have a love for commentating like this, and this is what I wanted to do ever since I knew that I couldn't do racing as a viable thing. This is where I wanted to go into, but. Yeah, and that's why racing's so nice for guys like me. Is that, you know, the legitimacy of iRacing and just how seriously it's taken. It's a nice way to, you know, from home with lesser equipment and not having to put the money into a professional racing series like I couldn't. Just with the combination of, you know, anybody can really iRace technically, which is kind of the beauty of it. Even my iRacing successfully, I know today went absolutely horrible, and again, I would probably attribute that just to lack of practice on long stints, but. Yeah, like I've been finding a lot of success in certain series, like, you know, trucks and skip arbor races in my own free time. They're at Laguna Seca this week, which is a ton of fun. And I remember watching our Laguna Seca race round 2 of last season and being like, I really want to do that. So it's nice that they went there this week. But yeah, really overall, I mean, maybe this is kind of just a rant now, but just waiting to go green for the finale of the All-Star race here, which again couldn't be any better with only a couple laps to go. But yeah, like that's just kind of my spiel. So those of you that don't know me, yeah, karting is just kind of my favorite thing in life. I know I talk about it constantly for people that maybe have no interest in racing. So apologies to those of you watching that maybe I rant to about all things karting and things of that sort. But yeah, I'm very glad to be back at the track the rest of the year. My situation before didn't permit me being able to go out and with COVID and all that. But now I'm in a situation that does allow me to go out karting again. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, and hopefully we can take home another championship. And shout out to Scott in the chat, who also had a very good race day last Saturday, and hopefully should our weights line up the rest of the year. I look forward to racing him. And Scott, I promise you, if you're still watching, I will I will make it a much better effort than today's All-Star race. I will guarantee you that. But well, with that being said, we head back into one of the best finishes we're going to have in the series all year, I guarantee. And I'm really looking forward to it. Jordan West and Justin Lewick are remaining in the pits, but we have still got 6 drivers in the lead lap to settle this thing and to declare a winner for our All-Star race. And again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the race winner tonight will have the honor of picking the track and car for the final race of the season and the 3rd race of this year's playoffs. So a lot of championship implications as a result of this race. 8 cars left on track, 6 of them on the lead lap. Woody Mahan will come out of the final corner, and again, it's a 2-lap battle to the finish unless we get another caution on the next lap. But once we get the white flag, the next flag ends the race, Woody Mahan will come out of the final corner. Let's take a look from his perspective as we watch the pace car head left into pit road. Gonna make the hard left onto pit road. Woody Mahan is going to check up, get a good jump on Michael. Green flag for the final time in tonight's race. Pretty good jump there from Mahan, but Krobach didn't fall too far behind. Same with Logan Paxa. Josh Gallagher fell a little ways back, but he is still in the draft on Paxa as well. So the top 4 very, very close, all still eligible for a win here tonight. Marshall Crocker and Andrew Bajorjan rounding up the lead lap cars. Marshall Crocker actually keeping up, and I don't think he was able to. But Logan Paxa is going to head to the inside, but so is Michael Krobach. Going to go side by side, Krobach and Mahan. Paxa is going to go to the bottom. Maybe he's going to throw it 3 wide into 3. Thinks better of it. He's going to have to check up hard in order to make that work. Mahan's going to go to the high side, Krobach to the low side. Krobach gives Mahan plenty of room, but Mahan is still sitting up there on the top as we come to the white flag one more time. Krobach is going to clear him pretty cleanly, and he's going to take the lead for the final time coming to the white flag, but Pax is still in the draft. I wouldn't forget about Logan Pax at all the rest of the race. Mahan thought about diving in behind Krobach, but thought better of it. Decides to go back to the high line. Pax is still in the draft. He's going to go side by side with Mahan, but Mahan clears him by an inch coming out of corner 1. Again, white flag, final time through the backstretch. Mahan and Pax make contact. Pax is the only one to come out of the incident with any, well, not even damage, but slowed down a little bit as a result. So that means Josh Gallagher is going to go by. Krobach comes out of 3 one more time. Mahan is a couple car lengths back, way too far back to make a push. He might be able to get the draft coming out of corner 4, but I think this thing is all but decided. Michael Krobach, who I know had some adversity earlier in the race, had what I believe is a penalty, but he's going to dive to the inside, win his 2nd consecutive All-Star race in the series, and come across the line for his 3rd oval win of the year. Congratulations to Michael Krobach for winning the 2020 All-Star race Season 2. Wow. What a finish we had there. And again, Logan Paxton will come across the line in 4th. Josh actually pipped him at the line there as a result of that incident. But let's just see a quick replay of that finale there with Logan and Mahan. I'm honestly not sure what ended up transpiring there. I know Logan kind of washed up the track a little bit coming out of 2, but I'm not sure if he was left the racing room he needed. Let's actually go to the chopper cam because that is where we'll get our best view possible. So coming out of 2, see Logan on the bottom almost touching the curb. I think he was just trying to get as good of a run as he possibly could. I think he had new enough tires that I'm surprised he would have washed up that far. So I think he was trying to get a hard run. Mahan didn't give him the room that he would have needed to make that move work. And again, it just seems like a racing thing, not necessarily a fault of anybody's own. But going back live, I would assume Michael is doing some celebrations. There he goes to the start-finish line. So let's see what he's got in store here. I know him and Paxa have been going back and forth in celebrations all year, but there you go. He gets the victory donuts going, and well, again, the Oval Master does it again. You can see in the background there, my crew member is still waving at my car. So let's just put that aside. But Michael's going to back up again. He's being serious with the donuts here. Actually, he's going to do a reverse victory lap, it would appear. There he goes, getting a little. That was a pretty impressive burnout, honestly. That was
Nice win, nice donut.
That was pretty cool there. So I can't kiss the bricks in iRacing, unfortunately. It is not an open world game, much to my chagrin, as cool as that would be. But well, the victory donuts for Michael Krobach here, and well, a great race overall. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And again, this is one that, for as exciting as it is, probably would have been even better from a broadcast perspective. But overall, I hope you guys had a fun time with kind of the variety of both options, both the in-car and the traditional broadcast. Just a reminder, we are going to still be doing final interviews as we normally would. So we'll get to hear from Michael and possibly Woody, but Josh at the very least there. So so 2 guys that we're going to have interviews with tonight. But now, actually, we can go to your final race results, which I am completely forgetting about the traditional goings-on of a broadcast, just as a result of kind of the unconventional way as to how it started. Don't listen to that graphic up there. Actually, we're going to fix that very quickly right now. Let's... Unfortunately, the program I use does not save my settings after I exit the program. So when I changed it specifically for this race, we just decided that wouldn't like to save, is what I was saying. So let's pull it down, see if we can fix it, and there we go. Perfect. So, well, again, thank you everybody for watching. But here are your final results for tonight's All-Star race for Season 2. Actually, important to note, 2 Americans in the field tonight, as Woody Mahan is our 2nd American in the series. So it may not be a ton of cultural diversity, but we're starting to expand to a few more countries than just Canada in the series, which is good to see. But, well, your race winner tonight, Michael Krobach, with his 2nd consecutive All-Star race victory. Now the question is, what is he going to pick for the final race of the season? I know he is the Oval Man himself. And, well, with Logan Paxton currently leading the championship with Michael not too far behind, that gives him a lot of leverage in the championship standings the rest of the year. After him, Woody Mahan making his debut in the series in that number 27 car. Coming across the line, only 3/10 down on Michael in the 2nd position. So, great debut for him. Looking forward to seeing how he does the rest of the year in this series for the final 6 rounds. But after that, Josh Gallagher running at the top 3. Of course, he was your winner in last season's race at Indianapolis for the 250 for Season 1. Again, for some reason, that race seems to get an incredible number of views on this channel. So for those of you that maybe are going back and watching that because you thought it was exciting, I think it was one of the best races we've done. But, Well, the Indy 250 from last year, feel free to check it out if you like Indianapolis-based broadcasts, because that was just the more traditional style in its entirety. So that's on the channel in the playlist for season 1. So feel free to check that one out if you like it. But yeah, Josh won that race and only losing by that was 46 thousandths of a second ahead of Logan Paxos. So close finish between them, but Logan just barely missed out on the podium place there. Actually, I think it's first time not on the podium in ages, so good, probably good on him that he chose an unofficial race to do it. But after that, Marshall Crocker Sr., who I was communicating with a little bit there at the end, is going to come across the line in 5th. An impressive job there. I think the caution did a lot of was a big help there for both of us. If I were still in the race, that would have been a huge help, and maybe could have tried to fight it out to the finish there. But unfortunately, that is not how it turned out. But he'll come away with the top 5 spot. Not a bad showing at all. Hopefully, he'll be able to keep that momentum going into Pocono on Friday. But after that, Andrew Bedrosian will round out the drivers on the lead lap, sitting about 3.7 seconds back in the 6th spot. And behind him is Marco Felice and Rich Foligno, each 3 laps down apiece. I think they had 2 separate incidents throughout the race with each other, so I think that would explain why they are on the exact same lap at the end of tonight's festivities. But after that, we've got Jordan West sitting 6 laps down, who I was around a little bit throughout the race. Not exactly sure what happened to him, but I feel like he was only a couple laps off through most of the event. So again, the problem with not doing an entire broadcast is it's never quite clear exactly what is going on for drivers that I'm maybe not paying attention to. But after that, Justin Lillick rounding out the top 10 in the 10th spot. He was the cause of that final caution there just a couple laps before that sent us to the green-white checker that we had at the end of the race. So he will come across the line in 10th. After that is myself, and I know I show up in these broadcast graphics a lot, but tonight I'm actually there legitimately. Just unfortunately not quite as high up as I wish I would have been in the 11th spot there. But I like to think without that final contact, I would have ended up definitely further up in the final standings. So again, I think the fuel strategy would have worked. We might have been in business, but again, if you guys enjoy this kind of broadcast, I'd be more than happy to come back out and race. And I know I have what it takes to hold my own against some of these guys. Certainly attracts. Maybe I'm a little bit more used to in my own free time. So. Well, again, 11th spot. I thank you everybody for sticking with me there. And I wish it could have been a little bit higher. I was 5th last year, so 6-spot downgrade to this year's All-Star race. But yeah, overall, I'm sure I'll be back out for a race before too long. And we have a couple of kind of special gimmick races in the works for the rest of the series. So something a little bit different. I'll reveal those as the season goes on. But this might not be the last time you see me in car in the rest of the season. I'll put it that way. But running up the field in 87 and 97 laps down are the 2 Garretts for Diabolique Motorsports. Not exactly sure what happened to them. I think Manuel dropped out immediately, so there must have been something technical on his end. And then I know John got in a pretty early crash, but it looked like he just got kicked out of the race as well. He was kind of parked there for a while, which makes me think he didn't have control over his sim. So I'm not sure what happened there, but it's too bad that they couldn't run the entire race with the rest of the field. But that'll round out your your race results for tonight. Of course, championship points won't be affected because not an official race. But with that, we can now throw up your interview graphic because we do have interviews to do tonight, 2 to be exact, with your winner and first your 3rd place finisher tonight, Mr. Josh Gallagher. There's his graphic, so we'll pull him in the booth and get going for your interview tonight. Hey Josh, it's Marshall in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. You got me?
Oh, I am about to in just a second, hopefully. There we go. You want to try one more time?
Yep, mic check.
Okay, we are all good. Thank you. First of all, Josh, I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't a points-paying race, so 3rd won't come away with anything. But man, that's got to be a confidence booster for the rest of the year. A great performance overall. I mean, when it comes to a race with so much attrition as this one, with as brutal as tire wear was, which I can for once tell you firsthand, being in it partially part of the race myself, but. Well, overall, kind of what was your strategy heading in? I know you were the defending winner last year when we started off the entire series with it at the beginning of last season. But, well, after winning that race and winning it in the way you did, largely based on strategy, what was your plan going forward using what you did last year and trying to implement it in this race tonight?
Basically the same as last year. Just try to have a quiet race and just keep out of trouble, stay out of wrecks. Don't get too racy especially at the start, and then. It seems like these long races, just things tend to happen to drivers, right? So it seems like you can make passes without having to work too hard when people make mistakes and everything. So just capitalize on mistakes more than actually get too racy and cause myself wreck.
Right, fair enough. And it worked for quite a while. You stayed on the lead lap there and you stayed competitive until that final caution at the end. And then once that restart happened, what was kind of your confidence going in there after seeing the pace of the guys in front of you most of the race? I know Woody, Michael, and Logan were all having successful races, but what was your plan on that final restart and how were you able to hold off Logan there at the end?
Yeah, so I'm not too happy about that caution. I wish that didn't come out. My heart's broken for Woody because I know how much Indy means to him, and I was hoping he was going to win this one. But no, I didn't think I was going to have the pace to stay up there with him. But I mean, Woody and Logan were trying really hard to catch back up to Michael, and they got into each other just a tad, which slowed down Logan, which helped me get by him. And then Logan made a really good push at the very end, but I just beat him out by a little bit.
For that. Well, you did indeed, and congratulations on doing so. Again, unfortunately, as a result of not, being first place tonight, unfortunately, it means that well, Michael is going to get full custody over what we do for the final race of the season. But personally, if it were your choice, kind of what kind of track car type are you hoping we see for the end of the season? What would suit your style best?
Yeah, it'd probably be any ovals. I mean, these drivers are really good at the road course. They're really good at the ovals too now. But it seems like if I want any chances at these top 5 finishes, it'll have to be on an oval, hopefully.
Yeah, you're right. We've definitely seen some improvement from the rest of the field in ovals, but when it comes to you having your first ever race in the series, be an oval win last year, and just how well you, Devin, and Michael have been at the ovals through this entire series, yeah, I'd imagine that would probably suit your purposes best for the end of the year. But overall, as we end every single interview with in this series, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody in the crowd for watching or anything else of that sort?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to you for putting this together as always. All the drivers today were really clean. I thought it was a pretty clean race all in all. So I'm really happy about that. And my girlfriend back at home, I know she's watching.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, Josh. And again, thank you for coming out for the All-Star race. I know we've got a few more races left in the season going forward, but you've got a NASCAR race on Friday to look forward to at Pocono. So, again, speaking of ovals, hopefully that's one that'll suit your style pretty well. And overall, I just look forward to seeing how well you can carry this momentum forward going forward the rest of the year.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And with that, we're going to finish off your first interview of the night. We do have another face in the chat, but I don't exactly know who it is. There's a possibility it's Woody Mahan, who did finish second tonight, but until I can have that confirmed, sorry, just let me do a quick check and see if that is indeed him.
Open drive,
I've
right?
had the privilege to work in the middle of the track for the past 2 weeks.
Hey, Mark.
Mom has done his back in. Hello.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just texted him, so he might not know, but so maybe you should do me first.
Okay, well, by the sounds of it, we are going to have to possibly wait on Woody. It may be a Andrew situation from the last race where if we're able to get him, it might be a little bit. But he's obviously never been in the broadcast booth before as a result of this being his first race. So still new to the whole process and how we do interviews post-race. But that does mean first we can go to your race winner, Mr. Michael Krobach, and maybe get all the juicy details as to exactly what track and car he hopes to pick for the finale of the season. Hey, Michael, it's Marshall in the booth. You got me?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty well. I guess I could say I could be a little bit better after a subpar 11th place finish in the All-Star race. But well, you cut one of those ones out and you got your finishing position for the night. Congratulations on your second ever All-Star race win in the Karts to Computers series. You're now 2 for 2 on them. You got to wonder where exactly we have to hold one such that you won't come away with the win in one. But yeah, back to back, you did it in pretty convincing style there at the end. But I mean, honestly, it was a tough race through and through the entire way. I noticed first off that you had a lot of pace at the beginning, but it felt like looking at you relative on the standing sheet, you fell back at one point in the race. Was there a penalty or something that happened, or just kind of talk about that earlier portion of the race?
Yeah, so the first stint of the run, I really, really struggled. The first stint of the race, I just could not figure out the handling on the car. It was burning the right rear tire off, and I wanted to stay out long enough to get in the fuel window, and I did not want to use a fast repair that early. And I think we had a little bit of wing damage, so I did have some mandatory repairs that cost about 5 or 6 seconds to get fixed on pit road. But I did fall 24 seconds back after that first round of pit stops, and my in lap, I basically almost wrecked in the short shoot between turn 3 and 4. The tires were just killed, and I kind of half spun, and it put me down on the access road. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm pitting now. And yeah, so the tires were gone. I couldn't get a handle on the ARB. And when I came back, the second run, the car felt better. Changed a couple things there, and I was about 3 or 4 tenths a lap faster than Logan for that stint. And we closed the gap about 5 seconds on that run. But clean air was just so important, and I could not get clean air at all for 3/4 of the race. And so once my teammate Woody Mahan got by the lead there and started to drive off, I was in third, and I couldn't quite catch Logan, and I hit the wall again. I don't think I got damaged there, but the car just didn't feel right, and so my only play was to short pit, and take advantage of the fresh tires, and that put me ahead of both Woody and Logan for the final stint. And then Woody came back on fresh tires, and I think I would have had a comfortable second until that caution came out. So I really hate it for Woody. I know this is his home track, and he loves Indy, and he would want to win here. So I feel bad taking the win away from him on strategy there at the end. But the caution was good for me, but not good for my teammate. But we still got an LPM 1-2-3 tonight, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even realize that until you mentioned it, but an all LPM podium. And yeah, Woody had a great performance overall. I remember earlier in the race, I had a couple of laps battling with him early, and seemed like a really responsible guy with his line. And I know there at the end in the battle, it looked like he had, without that caution, had such a convincing lead there that it was all but his. But again, it would have been a pleasure, especially if it had that much of a meaning to him to win in his debut here in the series. But yeah, unfortunately, just that caution kind of put the kibosh on that. But in the end, you did what you had to do when you started off that restart, and you came away with the win here tonight, and you can't fault you for that. But before we go and ask you, as the result of the All-Star race, if you have any preferences, maybe not the official answer quite yet, but if you know, go for it. But as for right now, how are you feeling for Friday for a race at Pocono Speedway, the only race that right now that we can guarantee? Going forward, I mean, it's another oval like you're used to, and it's the NASCAR Cup Series, so you probably have more experience at Pocono than anybody else. So you just want to talk about that and what you're expecting for a race on Friday?
Yeah, sure. We're actually racing in ASRS, my other Cup League, tomorrow night at Pocono, and we have a double header there, 2 short little sprint races. So I'll have plenty of practice at Pocono. I struggled there in the A car last year when I did some fixed races. The new version of the track, which is where we're running tomorrow, I just couldn't get a handle on it with the pavement. But I think we're running the legacy version. Is that right, Marshall? On Friday?
We are, yes.
Yeah, so I think that one will be good to me. I will probably practice on that a little bit too, because the track is quite different after they rescanned it. But I'll have lots of seat time. I'm looking forward to Pocono. It's my 30th birthday on Friday, so hopefully we can park it in Victory Lane again.
Oh wow! I had no idea it was the big 30. So, well, that could be a pretty big day for you, and you got the momentum going from tonight's race, especially at a fellow oval. So, well, best of luck for you that your birthday race goes well on Friday. And well, now it's the all important question that we're going to have at the end of any All-Star race. But you do now get the choice of car and track for the finale this season, and also the finale of this year's playoffs, the 3-race way that we're ending off the season to declare a champion. So, again, you don't have to have the official answer right now, but do you have any inkling as to exactly where you think we'll be going and in what car for the end of the season?
Yeah, we'll do the NASCAR Cup car and track. I'm still out on that. I'm going to test a few to make sure the setups are okay. But ideally something with high tire wear, because I love managing the tires in the Cup car. Maybe even the low downforce package. I'm not sure, but I love the old small spoiler and the high horsepower and the Cup car, where you actually got to really wheel the car and drive it and not just mash the gas like the 550 horsepower package. So hopefully that little spoiler will maybe make the difference in the season finale there, and we'll put on a good show.
Well, I'm looking forward to finding out what that track will be. And I mean, again, last season you came away with the win in your All-Star race pick, so we'll see if this year that's the case. But honestly, as Josh mentioned in his interview, I know you guys from LPM have the experience in the past with NASCAR and in your own experiences running it. But I mean, it feels like the non-LPM guys just get better and better at every single oval we go to. So I know when it comes to the playoffs, guys like Logan and Andrew will be fighting their damnedest to to make a push for the championship. So it'll make it tougher, I'd imagine, making a NASCAR race for the end of the year, and I'm sure it'll suit your needs well. But overall, I wouldn't count anybody out. I think it should be a great way to end the season in a pretty tough, challenging race for our defending champion, Mr. Logan Paxa. But well, with all that being said, it is now time as usual. I mean, you did come away with a win in a big All-Star race tonight, so your sponsors got to be proud. But do you want to give them a shout out and anybody else at home watching?
Yeah, I got to thank the whole team. Poor Devin couldn't make it out tonight, but really happy to have 5 LPM cars in the field there. Got to thank Rich Foligno. Good to see Josh Gallagher tonight. Andy for all the setup work he did. He spent a lot of time practicing there, and his win's going to come. He's chomping at the bit. He almost got pole tonight, and if he got pole, maybe track position would have been king and clean air, and he could have checked out. So he's right there for his first win. It's going to happen soon. I know it will, buddy. So just keep your head up. And got to thank Woody for coming out too, and it's great to have everybody on board. And of course, all our sponsors: HPP Simulation, Clipping That Apex, Thumbs Up Cancer Down, Ready to Frag, Exclamation System, Sim Racing Apps, Host Venom, CJ Automotive, Amsoil by Adam Blattle, graphics for Peyton the Sweet IndyCar tonight, and spotlights for keeping me in the game and keeping me aware where all the cautions were and where cars were on inside and outside. So check out spotlights from Midwest Simulation.
Spotlights in particular are definitely something I'm looking into for my own personal rig. I know me and my dad are, well, I shouldn't say me and my dad. My dad's trying to get one set up, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to implement those quite soon because they're pretty cool. But well, overall, I mean, Michael, it's been a pleasure to have you here winning your back-to-back second All-Star race in a row. And overall, I'm sure you're going to have a great rest of the season. And it'll be great to see, as you mentioned, Andrew's having a better and better year, and he's coming close to that win. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get on the winning path and maybe that top 3 battle, and maybe even more when our championship playoffs come around. But I'm looking forward to a great battle for the end of the season, and hopefully you have a very successful rest of the year as we head off into, well, I guess towards your round 15 and whatever NASCAR Cup track we end up going to. But overall, thank you, Michael, for coming out. It's been a pleasure to have you, and have a great rest of your week, and kind of a happy early 30th birthday, but I'm sure I'll be wishing you one on Friday.
Thanks, buddy. It was great to run this race. Great to have so many cars show up, and for you for putting on the broadcast. I'm sure it wasn't an easy task juggling racing and commentating at the same time. So I hope you had a good race and had fun behind the wheel too.
It was a good time, but you're more than right. Sometimes it can be tough to balance both. So, well, in the future, maybe we'll have to have a few more iRacing races without me trying to chat my ear off. So, overall, thank you, Michael. It's been a pleasure, and yeah, have a great rest of your night, and have a great rest of your week.
All right, thanks, Marshall. And Woody says that he sends his best, but he can't make it out to the interview tonight.
Yeah, I just saw his thing in the YouTube chat. Hey, Woody, congratulations tonight, and yeah, hopefully if you make more appearances going forward in the series, well, I'll be interviewing you as well one day. So very deserved second place for him as well. So shout out to Woody, and shout out to Michael. Congrats on your win tonight.
Thanks, Marshall. Have a good night.
And with that, that'll round out your round out. Wow, it's been a long broadcast. Apparently, the old English is starting to get scratchy, but with that, we finish off tonight's race, and well, it was an action-packed one for sure. Again, for those of you that have stuck around the entire time, or maybe just came around for the actual broadcast portion at the end and missed the entirety of the first part, I did attempt to run tonight's race and maybe make an impact and try to win it for all you guys at home, but unfortunately, some early behind the 8 ball style bad luck. Well, I shouldn't even say bad luck. I messed up pretty decently and just trying to talk and races as hard as ever. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to come away with the win I was hoping for. Again, going forward, I'm actually going to be participating in more series around iRacing not hosted by me. So maybe if it's a broadcast style thing and I ever get a link to them, I'll throw it on both the Facebook or maybe even the YouTube thing. I don't know. I assume you guys are all here for a driver in the series, but if you ever feel free to, or you ever feel like you're checking out something I'm doing on a different series, or I'm sure my dad is probably going to be in a couple of them as well. We are trying to apply for more stuff like that. So, well, if any of you want to come check out any of my stuff, aside from iRacing, in which I'm trying to talk, where it's just me focusing on racing, I promise I am oftentimes better than I was today. So, well, going forward, that's all I can ask is thank you everybody for coming out and watching this again. I know it's not an official series race, so it's always a question mark as to whether people will be interested to come out. But again, we had a pretty good group of people tonight in the chat, and it's always a pleasure to have. It's always great to see people watching and taking interest in races like this. And I know our most viewed race in the entire channel was last season, starting off the year at Indianapolis. So maybe it's just Indy. Maybe that's the atmosphere, and maybe we got to do an official Indianapolis 500 next month when the real life race runs in I believe 33 days. So if that's something you guys are interested in as well, you want to see a real life Indy 500 with with this same style, with maybe me shutting up a little bit more and trying to win the whole thing, feel free. Just throw it in the chat and let me know what you guys are interested in. Because really, I've done this for the drivers the entire time, but just as much I've wanted to do it for the people at home. So I know some racing content with your homegrown drivers can be a little bit more exciting than the big thing. Although actually all the racing, the major racing series have been great this year. But that's me ranting again. Basically, check out IndyCar. NASCAR's been good too, and F1's had a great start to the year. So overall, it's a good time for racing, and hopefully you guys can find it in our series as well. And I certainly did tonight, whether it was a crazy successful race or not. I had a great time being here and getting to drive in this again, and again getting to see Mr. Woody Mahan making his debut, and overall, it was just a great race. So thank you everybody for watching. There's your final standings tonight. I won't go over them again. You guys can see your top three there: Mr. Michael Krobach, Mr. Woody Mahan, and Josh Gallagher in LPM top three. Logan Paxa and Marshall Crocker Sr. will round out the top five. Again, quick shout out to my dad for practicing with me a little bit. Well, I guess just generally practicing with each other mutually, trying to get ready for tonight. And he made much better work of it than I did, unfortunately crashing out early. So, well, congrats to him on a top five. And quick shout out to all those watching. Quick shout out to Scott Norman in the chat, who karting buddy of mine. We've raced against each other several times, and I look forward to racing against him again this year. But thanks for coming out, Scott. And hey, maybe if you get your own PC rig, we can have you in the series as well. It'd be certainly a pleasure. But overall, thank you everybody for watching tonight. It's been an absolute blast, and thank you guys for coming in and watching an unofficial race for a change. And just a reminder, we're going to have it in the outro slide in just a minute, but Friday, Pocono Raceway for round 9 of the Karts and Computers Racing Series Season 2. I know I haven't talked about it much, but our point standings are closer than ever. I believe like 25 points separating first and third between Paxa, Krobach, and Bedrosian. So it'll be a great dash to the end of the season, and we will declare a champion in just a couple of weeks. But overall, thank you. A final thank you to everybody for watching. Have a great rest of your week until Friday, at which point we will have our next round. And just have a great rest of your night. And thank you everybody for watching tonight.